of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to it on a Monday, a Labor Day Monday. Hope you're having a fun, relaxing day at home away from the job. We, your humble servants, are here for you. 93.7 The Ticket. Austin Oerman hopping in for the first and kind of a half time today. I was in with DP and Harrison momentarily, but of course, welcome in Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman for Old School. Jay, welcome back to the studio. A happy Monday, a dreary Monday, but a fantastic first full weekend of football, so it's not all bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was an exciting weekend to get the party started. And then, like I said, you get the cherry on top tonight. Horned Frogs against Hoodie.
Indeed. And we will get into that game because, my goodness, I think there's plenty of storylines around that one. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. We are here for you. Anything that's on your mind, we are happy to talk about over the course of the next 3 hours. Big thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese for their sponsorship of the show as well. It was obviously, Jay spent a lot of time talking about Nebraska and Cincinnati, but I thought in this first segment with week 1 for the Big Ten officially in the books, thought we could go around the conference, take a look at some of those other scores. Of course, headlined by Ohio State and Texas. A 14-7 win is all for the Buckeyes, but it's a win nonetheless. They take down number 1 Texas at the shoe. Ohio State scores in the second quarter, took a 14-0 lead in the fourth before Texas had a touchdown drive. Not exactly a rousing display of points, but I think for a freshman quarterback for Ohio State, I thought Saban managed the game decently well. And early in the season with a young quarterback like that, and even an offensive coordinator in Brian Hartline, who got re-promoted to that position. The last time he was there, Ohio State finished, I think, down in the 30s in either points per game or total offense. Wasn't a huge success for him. Getting him reintegrated, getting Julian Sayin integrated. Big shout out, I think, to Matt Patricia and that defense, those leaders, Downs, Styles, and company, for stepping up and putting the clamps on still a pretty good Texas offense.
Yeah, I think for the Ohio State team and the situation, defending national champion. Some of the guys on the team are national champs. Some guys that are new into starting roles are trying to prove themselves. Essentially 2 new coordinators. You got a new version of Brian Hartline. Is he a better coordinator than he was before? How hands-off will Ryan Day be? The pressure of being, at home. Here comes Arch Manning in Texas. Game Texas defense. I think Julian Sand did a really good job of handling himself, and I think they feel that they left some points on the board. I mean, you have legit the best player in college football, 2 early drops. Probably need to do a better job of maybe moving him around and scheming him up better, but Carnell Tate came up big.
Like you said yesterday, or last season, maybe the most overqualified third receiver in football. It's going to be his time as the second banana this year.
And that's what he proved to you why he probably is going to be a first-round pick, and nobody's really even talking about him because he probably is maybe the second best receiver in the nation, and there happens to be the number one is counterpart. And so, they got a really good tight end. I think their offense will only get better because I think they got Purdue's tight end who's really, really good.
Max Clare.
Or he was former Purdue tight end and is really, really good. They'll get the running game going. Defense is really good. Matt Patricia is part of the new wave of former NFL coaches or coordinators or both that are coming down to college and bringing their knowledge. I think that's going to be something, that I wouldn't say be the norm, but I think you're going to see it more frequent. And he had them well prepared, and it showed.
Someone around Ohio State or a couple people around Ohio State were saying something to the effect of the pressures will hit just as fast in college, but the quarterbacks won't process as quickly. And I really think we saw that with Arch Manning, right? All the hype, only 2 career starts going into this one. It's one start, it's one game, but that's where it's a high profile game. So there's going to be a lot to talk about with Arch Manning. Clearly didn't look comfortable all game long. I think credit Matt Patricia for that. Ohio State having a bunch of, future NFL defensive players on that side of the ball. But Jay, they made Arch Manning look normal. Pedestrian for 3.5 quarters before he really dropped a couple nice ones in the bucket, gets Texas on the board. Far too little, far too late. I thought that was probably the biggest story of the game.
Yeah, I think it's his first time being on the big stage. So, even though his last name is Manning, you're going to have some nerves. And, he really hadn't played a lot of football, substantial football since high school. That's 2 years, and so, you can't replicate Ohio State's players, defense, or speed. And then obviously you can't replicate being on the road in Columbus. I think for him, you'll see a big jump from him from, this week to next week, but you'll see a different Arch Manning later in the season. I think the media hasn't done him any service of anointing him the number one pick, X, Y, and Z. Then you come in and no matter what he did yesterday, besides, being straight up like unstoppable, you wouldn't have met expectations. So I think for him, Texas will be right in the mix. They'll be a playoff team. They're a well-coached team. He'll only get better. There's a lot to work with, and there's a lot to I think for him, a couple of those throws gets him excited. The majority of them gets him frustrated because, he skipped the first one, the guy wide open. So for him, he's like, man, I wouldn't say it's an easy fix, but it's very, very tangible for him. Now look, teams are going to play him even better. They need to get a little bit better in the run game for sure.
Texas, I thought, ran the ball decently well. 37 for 166 as a team, 4.5 yards per carry. Wisner and Baxter, the 2-stud running backs, 26 for 120 between them.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good day against Ohio State.
Ohio State, but I think you need to. I think they, for me, with him, and this is what I mean by the run game is, I would have even done it more. I would even have mixed in some quarterback run, especially with him, because he'd probably need to get hit. You probably say, hey, look, just take a little hit, kind of wake him up a little bit.
The Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I felt like he was a little, sleptwalked at first. He kind of like this deer in headlights for a little while. Very cool, calm, and collective dude. But I think when they get their running game going, they'll be, and also you have to, this comes from experience. And I know what I know what their game plan was. They're not going to beat us by running the ball. That's an NFL mentality. And he knew that we have to make them pass, right? So you're trying to trick them into passing. We're running it so we can pass it. No, you can't. Oh, we can run it. We'll be able to pass it this time. Game's over.
If you're passing it, you're going up against Caleb Downs. Kind of hard to throw against that guy.
The light boxes and them, their ability to run is a little bit of a smokescreen considering the game plan. So when they play against a Georgia, you're legitimately going to have to line up and move some people because Kirby won't have that. So it's a little bit different, mentality of what their run game is. But it'd be interesting to see what they do. I would have liked to see a little bit more, QB waggles. I would have liked to see. He's obviously way more mobile than Peyton and Eli. Just because Cooper was a great athlete, and
Mhm.
obviously he has a little bit of physical issue.
More Archie than any of those two.
Right.
Mhm.
But he can still throw it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think he has
Mhm.
as good as arm as I thought. I think Eli had a better arm than Peyton.
Eli was bigger
Yeah,
arm.
bigger
Peyton
arm.
probably more
Ver-
accurate, more
very
consistent.
way more precise.
Yeah.
But Eli got a little bit more Peyton in him. But I think you got more Archie and probably Eli early in his career. So
Mhm.
then now I'd like to see him on some bootlegs, waggles, even a little bit of RPOs where you're getting it, and then you got a quick. I think that right there will then open up way more spaces. And I think the speed of the game, where this is probably from what he used to do in high school, he threw to when guys were open versus the throwing them open.
Mm.
And that's an art that the really, really good quarterbacks are good at. That's why you got guys that really, per all scouting, aspects, like Drew Brees didn't really. They said that he didn't have a strong arm, but he,
Not big enough.
big enough.
Yeah.
You know how to throw guys open. It don't matter.
Mhm.
So I mean, he'll only get better.
On the Ohio State run game, Jay, 34 carries, 77 yards. Of course, some of those kneel downs at the end of the game. But CJ Donaldson, James Peoples, the two lead running backs, 29 carries for 87 yards. That is an average of 3 yards per pop. We knew Texas's defense was going to be good, but man, that's certainly not Henderson and Judkins. Not that we're asking, or people were asking for those guys to be that.
You need to
I
be
expected a
better
little more than that.
Yeah, and in the way that you saw the highlight, they were punishing people up front.
Mm-hmm.
So then it makes me think of, okay, the mix, mixing all the plays together. Calling plays and having the right rhythm or mix, or however you want to describe it, is like that nobody ever talks about that. That sets up the run, and that comes with experience of Hartline of calling plays. That's where you see Sark when he's calling plays. They have a better running game than that, no matter who was on the defensive side. Texas defense is good. I think the linebacker is really, I know he's very good. They have a stockpile of defensive linemen, but I think that the Ohio State offensive line, when lining up inside outside, they were punching a hole in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now some holes were missed because those guys have never. You got to think those dudes hadn't gotten any reps.
No.
Zero.
Not a one.
In like the last 2 years. And you got negative reps last year, right? Because you had two dudes. When you had just Travion before, you might get in scrub time. Okay, that again, it's like Arch.
Yeah.
2 years. And it's not to bring me into conversation. It's like I remember in '95. I'm sure we'll talk about Nebraska and the defense. Like I hadn't played since high school in a game, like spring game, sure, but
that's your own dudes.
Yeah, and well, now there was 70,000 people here. I mean, it was a little different. But playing it when, you lose the spring game, all right, man, I'm still back in the dorms hanging out.
Yeah.
All right, man, red team got us today. Yeah, too bad. Yeah,
Team fall.
Oh, T. Frazier, man, he really, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, Lawrence did. He did work on it. We'll get him next time. But when you're playing for real, it's a lot different, and you hadn't been in let alone playing high school to college is a huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going from city alderman or whatever, councilman, to president. Here you go.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Make all the right decisions all the time.
Right decisions, yeah. So I think that's a little bit of it too. I'm sure those guys are the same thing, and and that's where you would have liked to seen a little bit more of Claire, Tate, Smith kind of leading them and then open it up easy stuff where I guarantee you in that running back room, and let's not forget they lost the running back coach to Michigan.
That's right.
The guy that's been there for a while.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not getting any Christmas. I mean, the exodus of Ryan Day's staff, of Jim Knowles getting the pay bump
to Penn State.
Mm-hmm. Sneaky James Franklin. James Franklin is definitely not the dude you want to go to the bathroom with, and you got your old lady there at the bar. Well, anyways, and then you got Chip Kelly going to the pros, and then you lose position coaches like that. It's no different than Dan Campbell in the pros. It does take some time. I mean, the whole operation is different. You got to think Ryan Day is, you kind of get forced to give it over to Chip Kelly. He did it probably reluctantly.
Pretty good decision though.
It was, but it was a little dicey after the Oregon game. After the first one, when you didn't run the ball.
No.
Right. Against your old alma mater, you wanted to get into a little bit of but it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1 year. Okay. You're looking on Brian Hartline. I'm going to give you another chance. So now he has to really, I think this is a interesting look-see in Ryan Day teaching and maybe building his coaching, like true coaching tree.
Right.
To go. I mean, I'm sure Brian Hartline is either going to, who knows if he'll ever leave. Why would he?
Well, yeah, seriously. Loved alumni, best recruiter in the country at your position, backup offensive coordinator for a year, and then back to wide receivers coach. I don't know. Yeah. It does make me laugh, though. We hear this all the time, Jay, and Ryan Day said it post-game. Yeah, I was proud of how Julian Sayin played, thought he handled the moment well. We didn't open up for him to take some stuff off his plate, which on the one hand I get. Okay, freshman quarterback, first start. But for a young quarterback like that, run, pass, predictability, that hurts him. To me, yeah, you don't want to put too much on the guy's plate, but if you keep finding yourself in 3rd and long, 3rd and 7, plus you're asking your guy to make big-time throws on that down only, that to me isn't setting your guy up for success. I get the whole protect the freshman quarterback narrative, but to me, the best way to protect the quarterback is to operate as normally as possible. Don't let the defensive coordinator on the other side key in on something. You will do your guy more favors by putting more on the table for the defense as well.
Yeah, especially if you get into some, out of nowhere drops from Jeremiah Smith. I think it's to keep his confidence, but also more importantly, he's playing to win the game. I mean, if this was game 6, it would be a lot different. You get a lot different reaction. I understand that the first game, I think he's talented though.
But it's different between a first game against, no offense, they're just on my mind, Akron, versus Texas. Right. Against a team like Texas, you can't afford to have it be week 1.
Yeah.
You got to have everything on the table because of how important this game is for college football playoff seeding down the line.
But I think Sark was doing the same. You saw a lot of, rub routes and stuff like that. It just was executed poorly on Arch's part. Mm-hmm. I think you generally tend to do that when you have 2 stellar defenses. Now, if you had whose defense didn't really perform well, like of those things, if you had somebody that, Alabama's defense, I guess with that effort, then you can just do whatever you want against those guys as long as you just run hard, know. And so, I don't mind it. I understand it. It'll be interesting to see how it goes from this week to next week, the next big game, how he starts to mature. But also, I think Austin, that lack of true running game is really what hurt them to be able to open up, because you're not Hartline's not calling plays to get stymied, right? And especially when there's some holes there, and sometimes you gotta be able to dip in and out of holes to kind of get them, open them up on the backside. The inexperience of running backs and the effectiveness of the true conventional run game wasn't there, and I think that played a big part into the 3rd down calls, because you never were on time or ahead of the change. Not never, but majority of the time you were just either right or behind schedule.
Yeah.
So then everything is kind of back against the wall.
For Ohio State, Grambling and Ohio to round out the non-conference. At Washington, host Minnesota, at Illinois, the first 3 games of conference play. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Penn State, no issues with Chubba Purdy and Nevada, 46-11. I was relatively impressed by Oregon, Jay. That's a really good Montana State team, FCS kind of power.
Yeah.
Oregon struggled with, I think it was Idaho last year.
Oh, went to Canada last
like fourth quarter.
Last series.
Yeah. And this year against a better team, they really handled business. No Tommy Mellott for Montana State, the quarterback turned receiver who was cut by the Raiders. I was pretty impressed by Oregon. Michigan looked fine. Indiana looked fine. Maryland looked fine. Purdue, whatever. Northwestern looked bad. Shout out to Lane. Their whole disrespect thing. Iowa, whatever. USC pours it on. UCLA, though. Woof. Yeah. Maybe that's a testament to Utah. 2 really good tackles, probably both going day 1 of the NFL draft. Devin Dampier, really fun at New Mexico last year. But holy cow, UCLA. That offense was not good, only 10 points. Defense got shredded. That's a little bit of a warning sign for me.
Yeah, I think, the Nico decision, it was a loss. It was loss for him. It was a loss for Tennessee. I guess you could say the only person that came out, only team that really came out on top would be UCLA, but sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's good. I think so. When you have that factor and then you factor in Utah has bookends that are first round picks. When we're talking about some dudes now, like if you want to see two big guys that can move and run and finish, you got that. And then you got Pocket Hercules 2.0. If he's not Kyler Murray's bigger brother, I don't know.
Younger, bigger brother.
Yeah, he is. He's like let me go get my younger, bigger brother. He runs like him, and he could throw. And Utah is going to play some defense, especially with UCLA. They look sped up. Now, I do think UCLA will get better offensively, but they aren't the same team that finished with 4 wins or 1-4 out of the last 6 games.
No.
But you can't expect it because they lost
heart and soul, the defense, and
they lost. You lost him. You lost both. Well, you lost both linebackers. You lost him.
Tight end gone.
Tight end gone. So they're in transition. But it should be expected that UCLA job is one that you're going to have to be willing to ride out some highs, lows, and some depths of hell through 5 years. If you turn the page again, you're done in the water. I mean, for a long time. Now, the team that we kind of skipped over before we go to break is Iowa. I was like, let me watch and see this because you see the little things and we talked about it. My man was nervous. He did not look good.
Gronowski, quarterback.
The Iowa offense looked like garbage. They ran the ball. Was it Xavier Williams?
Yeah, Xavier Williams, 11 for 122 and a tutty. Terrell Washington Jr., 15 for 69. Even Gronowski, 11 for 39.
Yeah, I mean, that offensive line, I'm going to tell you this right now. Buckle up. The center is a dude.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line that was not up to Iowa standards a couple of years are, grown men. I was just surprised at how he played because he is at least when he was at South Dakota State, he's a really good, I guess at that level, quarterback.
Well, and he's played better teams than Albany during his time at South Dakota State.
Yeah, and put in work.
Yeah.
So, but also this is the thing that you don't evaluate in the portal. It's a way bigger stage. It's way more people in that stadium. The pressure. He's probably feeling like I'm the gatekeeper between us going to the Big Ten championship. At least probably that's what people told him. All right, we finally got a quarterback that can
take us to the promised land. National champion.
Yeah, and so you worry about that a little bit yourself. But I think that he'll play a lot better here in the coming weeks. But it'll be interesting watching that Iowa offense. And they're gonna have their work cut out for them this week against Iowa State.
They sure will. Iowa State 2-0. They avoid the Dublin win hangover. Kansas State did not look as good, but they survive against North Dakota. Same thing as Nebraska, right? You lose a tight one in Dublin, you come back, you face North Dakota, and you just barely hold on. We'll get to that game, those games, I should say, and more on the national stage. We're going to hold off on one game that Jay alluded to, Bama and Florida State. That game will lead off our 4 o'clock hour. More national college football reaction next during Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Farmers know it all starts with the soil. At Carbon Connections, they're helping you unlock its full potential. Their high-quality humic acid improves nutrient uptake, boosts root development, and enhances soil structure, so your crops get more from every acre. But it doesn't stop there. With a full lineup of crop protection products, they help you reduce synthetic inputs while protecting yields and profits. Smarter inputs, healthier soils, better returns. It's time to grow more naturally. Visit Carbon Connections on Facebook or call them today at 402-947-1476 to learn how they can help your farm thrive. Carbon Connections, unlocking your potential. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. want to let you know about Credible Mind. The Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department has launched Credible Mind, a free confidential online platform to support your mental well-being. You can find it anytime at myhealthymind.crediblemindcom. At Credible Mind, you'll find tools, resources, and guidance to be ready before it happens. Take charge of your well-being and help protect those around you. Jay, we know you're a Husker through and through, but we also know before you were a Husker, before they were even a gleam in your eye, you have some family down at the U. They did the thing last night, Jay, 27-24. Wasn't pretty. Notre Dame comes back from down 2 touchdowns to tie the game, but Miami wins it with a late field goal, 27-24. Carson Beck looked good. The defense looked pretty darn solid going up against freshman quarterback C.J. Carr. Huge win for top 10 Miami over number 6 Notre Dame.
Yeah, man, they got after him a little bit. I don't mind Notre Dame losing at all, at all. So it's they looked. I think their thorn in the side last year was defense. I mean, even some of the games I think remember they played Cal. They always were down 2 scores, 3 scores. Cam Ward to do his thing, and X, Y, and Z. So I think they were pretty special with their pass rush last night, in my opinion. So
especially late. Even Matt Rule shouted that out today.
Yeah, I mean their pass rush. First of all, I remember seeing Bain. His dad played at the U.
Mm-hmm.
And when my dad went into the Ring of Fame, he was a freshman, and I remember seeing this, and he had like 10 sacks or something like that. Like, who is this dude? He was on full display. He was a little, nicked up last year, but he was on full display last night, and along with the plethora of dudes. I think they're trying to be physical in their run game. As far as the way that they play, they're obviously head coach is a former. He's a really good offensive lineman himself. Notre Dame, I think, is still stingy on defense. Offensively, it's still the same thing. Even like last year with Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard could throw the ball, but they never seem to want to throw the ball. It seems like, okay, we just wanted to, when you're playing like the likes, and there's nothing against Air Force and those teams, you could do that because you can get turnovers on defense and then score on offense with Love and everybody. But I felt like they didn't even really try to feature him because
16 carries for 78 yards is all for Notre Dame running back. 6 carries for Jadarian Price, only 10 carries for Jeremiah Love. He did also have 4 catches.
Yeah, but it was like, what was it? The middle of the second quarter and some of the third, everybody was like, where is he at?
Mm-hmm. Well, the TV call was Jeremiah Love out of witness protection.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's I think I think Notre Dame will be fine. I think they'll obviously always be in the mix, but it'll be interesting to see how they really take that huge leap. Obviously, getting to the national championship, losing some guys. I think they're still immensely talented. I think they're actually better at wide receiver this year than last year. It'll be interesting to see how they move forward, though, because they have to find a way to be more explosive. They have to get their identity under control, because I think that's going to be part of the aesthetics that they need to, get into the college football playoffs.
How much of it for them was kind of the flip side of what we said about Julian Sayin? How much of it was them putting too much on his plate and saying, hey, look at this flashy new toy we got at quarterback. Yeah. We think he can throw better. We want to feature him.
Yeah, I think it was. That was right. It was one of those things that where he, I think Carr showed late, he had a little bit of that Riley Leonard in him. But I think too early, you were trying to prove that we upgraded our quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, you wanted to, with a team like Miami who struggled, stopping the run and the pass. But the best thing you could do is see if you can beat them with, making them see how disciplined they are. But when you played into their hands, you got to think the thing that kind of broke things open was a kind of a half bootleg waggle, and Torrey lost the tight end. We play, when Nebraska went against him, he was at Rutgers. You see, it's from Miami. He was a problem, and it was just eye discipline. You get a 60-yard pass, well, then that kind of gets you going, but you're in desperation mode. So up until then, it was just a matter of time before the game was over. And then you get Love. He would make something out of nothing. He'd get an 8-yard run. Then he would do his leap thing and then be, 3rd and 1 or whatever, and you get it. But you needed to try to really, if I'm Love, I'm trying to establish myself and Notre Dame that I can tote the pill, kind of like what Nebraska did with Emmett. Like, you're running back A, we're going to feed you like it, versus you kind of like sparsely gave it to him. Running backs need to get in a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he could never get in a rhythm.
Yeah.
And so the offense never got in a rhythm. And when you're down 2 scores, it's a little bit easier to score than versus when you got to line up and do it.
The other top 10 game this weekend that we haven't talked about yet, LSU and Clemson in Death Valley, South Carolina, of course, 17-10. LSU ends up beating Clemson. Jay, the Tigers, the LSU Tigers, pitch a second half shutout. They're down 10-3.
Impressive.
They score a touchdown piece in both the third and the fourth. But man, the defense really held up in that second half. I think kind of confused Cade Klubnik at times, certainly pressured him.
Listen, that's the type of effort, athletic ability, playmaking ability. That's what you normally expect from an LSU defense. Remember how many years, obviously this is, before Joe Burrow, where it was like that, it was the defense and then a pedestrian offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think they confused, Klubnik a little bit, but I just think they were just making some plays. They were out there making some really special plays, and they played up to their potential.
Barrion Brown was a guy that Nebraska had in its sights to come with Kel Schwartz from Kentucky. He had that acrobatic catch down the sideline that got overturned, of course. But I thought Nussmeier looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Both he and Klubnik throw for 230 yards on 38 attempts. Nussmeier completed 28 compared to 19 for Klubnik, which doesn't say a whole lot, right? That's just like batting average essentially in baseball. But I thought what Garrett Nussmeier did well was he was able to get the ball out quick. Some of those tunnel screens to the wide receivers, I think, hit pretty well. And what it was able to do was, instead of trying to take shots maybe like Clemson did, I thought Nussmeier did a really good job of keeping LSU on schedule.
Yeah,
Got it out quick, because what did you talk about Clemson's big strength? That defensive line.
Yeah.
Only 1 sack all night.
They kept them like at bay by the play calling and rhythm, versus where I think Clemson was the exact opposite. And then when Clemson lost Williams, their receiver, I think he got cramps or maybe like a little strain of like his hamstring or something. The passing attack was null and void because him and Klubnik have a really good combination. Now I know Brown, who's number 6 on Clemson, was coming back because he had a really good freshman year. But again, he hadn't played a meaningful game in over a year. So their rhythm wasn't as good as Nussmeier, who had kind of built a rapport with some of the guys, even though obviously the Kentucky transfer came in, but he had a rapport with the tight end. That's a basketball player. You saw that pay dividends. If you're talking about a 50-50 ball, 6'6" guy, 6'5" against a 5'10", Clemson's guy was right there. It's just nature versus nurture. I think LSU should have a lot of confidence about this game and their future in the SEC, potentially winning it if that's not important to them, getting into the college based on this game. If they just held serve and kind of played like this effort, this intensity, that they're definitely getting in. The problem is that when you watch that that SEC show on Netflix, it was the details that got them last year. So they were kind of in the same position, but I think this year with Baker, their new defensive coordinator, they brought back a certain amount of energy and toughness and also accountability, which some teams throughout the SEC don't have, which we'll talk about at 4 o'clock.
We will get there, in about 15, 20 minutes or so. I do want to shout out Iowa State as well. Kind of glossed over them. 55-7 over South Dakota. Cyclones get the ball, score. South Dakota marches right back down the field to tie it up. Iowa State says, not so fast, my friend, hits a big play, marches into the end zone, and the route was on from there. 14, 13, 14, and 14, the points by quarter for the Iowa State Cyclones. Shout out Ben Bramer, 7 catches, 47 yards, had a couple touchdowns as well. This is a game, Jay, that I think a lot of teams could have fallen trapped to. Oh, we won in Dublin. Oh, it was a weird week with everything going on. Oh, we beat a conference rival in a top 25 game. We're in the driver's position already in the Big 12. And then here comes a not even sneaky good, just a good FCS team, top 5 good in South Dakota. Iowa State had no issues with them. I'm not saying the Cyclones are playoff bound or anything yet, But I think that's a top 15 team in the country right now, not just top 25.
Yeah, I mean, for them to rebound with the amount of skill positions, and obviously they had a really good offensive lineman that got drafted on top of all the circumstances coming back from Ireland. They talked about their coach Campbell called around to, I guess he has NFL contacts about from teams that come back and how to rest and recovery. They looked energized, they looked healthy. So whatever they did, they definitely got up, especially it's their first home game. So they definitely had, reason to perform well. And also probably is coming into that Iowa game this week, with a lot of confidence.
High-powered offense so far for Iowa State against the stingy defense coming up this next week. One more game, and then week 1 is in the books for college football. Bill Belichick makes his college football head coaching debut. We'll break down that game between North Carolina and TCU. What do you expect to see from Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels? We'll get to that to wrap up Hour 1.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Tune in every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. for the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters. Sit back and enjoy listening to Dr. Chatters discuss real stories involving struggle, inspiration, and real-life experiences with special guests and insights. Remember, the higher the pressure, the greater the lift. It's the Law of Lift with Dr. Lawrence Chatters every Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 1 with a look at tonight's game, TCU and North Carolina. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, storming you through a stormy Monday, stormy Labor Day. Appreciate you hanging out with us. On the road at Chapel Hill, Jay, the Horned Frogs favored by 3.5 over North Carolina. Of course, a whole lot of new pieces in the door for North Carolina on the roster. Obviously on the coaching staff. Kind of a prove-it year, I think, in a lot of ways for TCU. Sneaky 9-game winner last year. Josh Hoover getting a lot of headlines as well. Certainly not the best quarterback in the Big 12, but put up some numbers from last year. A little surprised that TCU was favored, but maybe that's just the Bill Belichick effect, because I do think if you take a closer look at the rosters, at the returners and everything, I would probably give TCU the edge, except for the wild card that is Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what everybody's going to be waiting to see, and you're going to get a glimpse tonight how he transitions to college and how college can handle the guru of situational football, and just it's like he's Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader into one. I mean, there's not going to be a situation that they probably won't go over he isn't prepared for. I do think North Carolina in general has pretty good talent. I think it's going to be, this is probably going to be a little bit rough start tonight, but I think they'll be a lot better than what people give them credit for. They went out and got a quarterback specifically to develop him and give him the reins.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a plan, and they obviously have an eye for talent, or like to think they have an eye for talent. Mike Lombardi's been a long time NFL, evaluator, a scout. They got a really good staff. A lot of pro guys, some former players. They got a pretty decent staff. I think it's just a matter of time that he has success. I think it's a 4-year contract, so it's going to be amped up. I think I could see them beating TCU just because you just figure they're going to play some defense.
Because his son's there is DC, right?
His son's there as linebacker coach DC. His other son is the safeties coach.
That's right.
So they're going to play some defense.
How exotic do you think they get week 1 against TCU? You think they throw some Patriot specials in there? You think it's pretty vanilla?
I think whoever TCU's best players are, they're trying to eliminate him from having any success tonight. So that's this part of it. So right into the game that starts in 4 hours or 3 hours, you're probably thinking like, all right, if they try to take away player X, how are we going to get player X involved? It's the whole mind game. They're running the ball. Yeah. The line, you expect them to try to be physical.
Which does not necessarily fit North Carolina. I don't think of them as a, quote unquote, physical team. I think about them as the Phil Longo, Drake May, even Sam Howell.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're physical enough, but you're not going there to get somebody. You're not going to get a guard that's going to be a road grader at North Carolina.
Right.
I assume that's going to change. In a sense.
Yeah, you can at least try.
Yeah, you got plenty of talent pool to pick from down there.
You do.
And you got money.
Did you think Belichick goes up north because that's where a lot of his connections are for players? Do you think he's got some of those inroads down to your Georgias, your Charlottes,
I think he got some everywhere. I mean, you got to think how many coaches clinics he's been at. how many
All of
connections
them.
he's been to. I'm pretty sure.
Stay away from Nebraska talent, Bill. You've been here.
I'm pretty
Pretend
sure
you don't see it.
I'm pretty sure he's more personable than, everybody remembers when he's at the Patriots press conferences. It was like remember that one he had 6 words?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's more personable when he goes to high schools or recruits come in. So I'm interested to watch. I think TCU is going to be sneaky good because they had a sneaky, year last year, as the whole Big 12 did. But I think North Carolina, before the season started, they felt like maybe the ACC was ripe for the picking.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson and Miami and Florida State have a different opinion, but I still think they'll be in the mix.
We'll get to Florida State here in just a minute. I do want to shout out, of course, Lee Corso made his final picks there on College Game Day. 6 for 6.
Yeah.
Tennessee, South Carolina, Miami, LSU, Ohio State, and then, of course, his pick of Florida State over Alabama. Pretty good one. But also every team that he played or coached for won on Saturday as well. Maryland, Louisville, Florida State, Navy, Indiana, and Northern Illinois all won on Saturday. Jay, I was kind of at the point with Lee Corso where, without trying to disrespect the icon or the legend that he became, I was just kind of over it. The same way I'm kind of over Dick Vitale. Like, shout out to those guys for making incredible TV, for being, good enough coaches to get a couple jobs around the country. And of course, they know more football or basketball than they've forgotten more than I'll ever know. Like, I understand that and I recognize that. I've just been kind of ready for the changing of the guard. So while I really appreciate and respect what Lee Corso did with the headgear, of course, that's what game day for now.
Yeah.
Even Dick Vitale, that's awesome, baby. It's a type of dandy. Like, they're great. They're legends. They're icons. I get it. I'm just ready for the next wave. So Great job, Lee Corso. Salute. Can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, and he up until a couple of years, I think he still was really good. I think obviously, rightfully so. He got older, so things kind of passed him by a little bit. It was good that I think Fox even kind of went into when he was making his picks or something like that. So, the thing that I think you think of him and Dick Vitale, everybody that's on TV right now, not that they have to pay them anything, but they owe a lot to those two. Mm-hmm. They really they really took those two sports as far as in their realms of one, Dick Vitale calling the games, Lee Corso, like the pregame and postgame stuff, took it. Part of the reason why even like Pat McAfee is making money right now.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Portnoy's involved. All those guys need to pay homage to him. So I think it was rightful time, and I think they did it right. I think they gave him a ton of respect leading up to it, and obviously, the football gods looked down on him where he was, pretty much undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
So, much respect to him. He's always been a great, ambassador for the sport of football in general, college football more importantly. And he's done a lot of great things, and so you just got to, tip your hat to him.
He ends game day the same way he starts it, picking Ohio State, and it worked out for him. So went out a winner. Congrats to Lee Corso on that. Alabama did not come in a winner. They fall by 2 touchdowns to Florida State. Are the Noles back? We'll talk about that. More importantly, what does it mean for Alabama? State of the program in Tuscaloosa. That leads off hour 2 of Old School on the other side.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go.
Second half today. You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God, you drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
It's one of the best decisions we ever made, having Bryant install a new water softener. Now our glasses and dishes are crystal clean. We save by using less detergents and softeners, but our clothes and towels will look better and feel softer. For a quality softener system without the hassle of arm-twisting contracts, I suggest choosing Bryant. Call 467-1111 or visit BryantLincoln.com to schedule a free estimate and soften up with Bryant. At Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, we do whatever it takes.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's schwissow.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to it, hour 2 of Old School. Austin Oerman, Jay Foreman with you for another couple hours, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. A couple more hours might be all that Kalen DeBoer has left in Tuscaloosa. Okay, probably not. $69 million buyout as it stands right now. But Jay, we got some serious numbers to talk about when it comes to Alabama and Florida State. First of all, the Nebraska standpoint of this. Shout out to Arbitrary Analytics for this. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have fewer losses than Alabama for the first time since October 4th of 2014. Nebraska was 5-0 while Alabama was 4-1. That lasted all of 5 hours before Nebraska lost on the road to a good Michigan State team that night. So it's been about 11 years since Nebraska's had fewer losses than Alabama. And then how about this? More on the Alabama side of things. Kalen DeBoer has 4 losses at Alabama as a 14 or more point favorite. He's been the coach there for 14 games. Nick Saban lost 3 games as a 14 or more point favorite out of 139 games at Alabama. It's hard to be the guy following the guy, but man, this is not how Alabama fans saw their season starting off.
In their mind, in their hopeful mind.
Tommy Castellano saw it this way, though.
It's over. I'm dead serious. It's over.
He's done? There's no coming back from this.
It's not about him. The program's over. It's over. Because the thing that they don't do, when you start to see the videos, the guys laughing when Florida State was kneeling the ball, lack of effort, running to the ball, just lack of even the smallest details. I think that, I always reference last year after the Vanderbilt, they're talking about, we got, guys got to be on time to meetings. There's 18. This has nothing to do with talent.
Yeah, I mean, Bama came in with probably a top 5 roster in the sport this year.
It's over. The fabric is over.
The mystique is gone.
No, it's I know when I left, I saw the change of some of the guys that they brought in. So, and here's the thing: when you've won to their magnitude, the guys that show up late think they put in the work that was done before. So entitlement comes in. The easy excuse is these guys are getting paid money. Okay. Well, see, I think the problem with a lot of people when it comes to NIL, which is great. Look, I want everybody to get paid. My favorite quote: if they're dumb enough to pay you millions of dollars, take it. Do not give
and
it
don't
back.
apologize.
Do not apologize. But I think also the fans out there, or you get people in the media who are like, it's on the coaches. No, this is not on the coaches. Sure. Can DeBoer tighten up a little bit? Yeah, he needs to find a happy medium between what he likes to do, what he would have worked substantially at times at other places, and where Nick Saban is. He needs to move a little bit towards that. Period. If he fights it, he's going to get fired. And sure, he's going to get 69 million reasons to get fired. But he doesn't want to move his family, so he needs to move towards that. He's never going to be Nick Saban, so he doesn't have to do it. But now back to the players. Here's the problem with some of the people in the media, and they're talking about the adults and all that. Now, this is not a coaching thing. I think players have lived, and some fans want to live in this euphoria of you get paid with no expectations and no accountability. Because one of the things that's interesting is, now sure, me and Reggie Herring got after it, but that's just because of our relationship. Now, you've had coaches that get after players, but in the pros I'm talking about. But you very rarely see coaches yelling at players. Mm-hmm. You want to know why? Because you're going to get cut.
Yeah.
And you better be motivated, and you're going to be held accountable. And there's no portal, so there's no running. If you don't like your situation, you better figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You better figure out how to add something to your game. It's whether it's, get bigger, faster, stronger, watch more tape, whatever it needs to be. Play harder, X, Y, and Z, or else you're going to be jettisoned and there will be no return.
Mhm.
You will be in outer space. Whereas in college, I think kids want, on one hand, they don't want to be judged, critiqued, or held accountable. But on the other hand, they want to be treated like in the real world. They want to get patted on the back. They want to get paid. They want all the accolades, and they only want to live on this. That's that's euphoria. That's fake.
Mhm.
Okay. Then you have to think. You got a lot of guys on that roster making well over $300,000, $400,000, The guys that didn't really play well, didn't have a lot of effort, particularly defensively. Proctor looked horrible.
Mhm.
They're
That
getting,
was the weird part to me. Like, I know Florida State's got
Yeah.
some dudes, but for Proctor to look that bad,
he looked good initially. His biggest weakness is he doesn't sustain blocks. He's kind of a waist bender versus a knee bender, and those are things that he has to work on. But when you got to think, I imagine the coaches that are coaching these guys aren't making what they're making, or if they're making close to it, so then they're not really listening. So then now I go right back to the players. Okay, what you put on tape, that's a you problem.
Mhm.
Period. That's a want to thing. That's a what's inside you.
Mhm.
Right? Sure, a different voice. You see it sometimes, a different voice. It does it, like you see in the pros, you bring in another coach, you get an uptick or whatever. That is somewhat true. But what they've been doing, this is what's not inside you. And that means you are not a competitor.
Mm.
But the same team, players will say, I'm going to the pros. I want to be a pro. I want to do this. No, you ain't. You're done. You shut the doors. It's no longer over. You're no longer relevant. It is OVER. I've seen it from afar at other places, right? Felt it, and I know exactly what it looks like. I know what it looks like. I see a bunch of entitled punk players that are getting paid, right? That aren't competitors. And they're okay with it. Now you got a fan base that's
not okay with it.
That's not okay with it. And they're in a catch-22 because you don't want to start running through coaches and cycling through coaches, and then you got to give the board time, as he should, because I think he's still doing some good things. He's got to figure it out how to kind of and it's really hard because Nick Saban was details, discipline, toughness. And so he pushed you towards it, or you would be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Here, these guys are just doing whatever they want and then just going. Now they'll get up for a game or two. Now whether it's LSU or whatever the game is, they'll get up for one. They'll show it, but they're not going to play college football playoff. What they put on tape in the first game of the season, there's no that is something they have been doing. That is a natural habit.
Mm-hmm. It's human.
Yes,
but you got to fight it.
Sure. Yeah, but that's a natural action
mm-hmm.
and reaction to friction.
Yeah.
That's just who they are. That's how they've been doing things. You don't go down in the first game of the season and you're in play 12 and you're jogging. I know that, dude, you would have, when I play, you get punched doing that, let alone you probably never will play again. I've seen guys that I played with get beat a couple times when we played Washington. They were just never played. No more. Gone. There is a lot of times there is no second chances when the intensity is cranked up.
Did you see some of this from Alabama last year?
Oh yeah.
So
there it is.
Does it stand to reason that some of this was building even while Nick Saban was there?
It was a healthy fear. It wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen.
So then it is DeBoer's fault.
No, it's more of the players' fault. It's a change in leadership.
Players took advantage of the situation, let their worst instincts come out.
Sure, but they're grown enough to know right from wrong. And if you're grown enough to cash those checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you grown enough to know how to play football. You know what the effort is something that you can control. A coach can. they only have a certain amount of time with you.
Mm-hmm.
So what you just going to say, hey, we're going to run, let's play tough today, ready, break. Like, this is the game of football. This is that's the number one thing that you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's whether it's in you or not. And if you're okay with it, then that spreads faster than anything. So you got some guys that need to check themselves. They look soft.
But if they're not going to check themselves, then it falls to other players to check them. If those players can't, then it falls to the coaches. So let me ask you, say it's OVER over for Alabama. If you're saying they're not a playoff team, I'm fine with that. I can get on board with that if this is what it looks like.
If they do it, they'll be out quick.
So what's the fix? Is it DeBoer's got to change what he looks for in recruiting? Is it instilling a different mindset in the position coaches? Because as much as this is the biggest job for Kalen DeBoer, I mean, winner, right? At the FCS level, Division III level, whatever, comes up to Washington, pretty quickly takes them to the college football playoff. It's also the biggest job for a bunch of his assistant coaches. The Bama name is going to get these guys in the door with guys that they wouldn't, been able to knock on the front door, approach the front porch in a previous school with, right? Is it on the recruiters for misidentifying Kalen DeBoer? Does he have to change who he is, who he operates? Or is it as simple as he's just got to rein in control the guys currently in the program? They can still be fine. Because if it's OVER over, you're better off cutting ties now, paying the $70 million.
No, you can't fire the coach. This conversation is what you have after maybe you don't look good in week 8 or 9, and you've been playing. You're 6-1, 7-0.
Mm-mm.
We got to get back to the details, bro. This is game 1. You the biggest game out there, and you played a team that was ripe for the picking. Florida State got stronger because they sensed weakness.
Mm-hmm.
You need some real leaders in there that's going to call guys to the carpet and challenge some guys. Now, coaches can do something. Sure. Can he change some stuff? Sure. It's a lot easier. The old saying is a lot easier to go from being like, a really, really hard coach, lighting it up. Now he's going to have to really try to change the about face. He's going to have some coaches. That's hey, you need guys in the locker room was like, dang. What did you hear what he said to so-and-so? It's got to be complete silence when we're in that team meeting room.
So is this the Ned Stark situation to some of those players? Maybe the Kalen DeBoer things aren't fully bought in. Hey, you're a good player. You probably give us our best chance to win, but I got to make an example out of you because you've done this. Are we to that point yet with Alabama?
That point, not yet, but there's nothing like good peer pressure watching a couple of those plays. I would ask if all I would do is I'd be in the team meeting room and it was like 94 and 42. I was like, what you laughing at? What's funny? Tell me exactly so we all can laugh at it. Because if it's legitimately funny after you just got your butt kicked, well, then I want to know what I would like to have a humor. I'd like to have a good laugh right now because I probably ain't slept in 2 days.
My wife's not happy with me because now we put our house on the market.
I hate everything. Okay?
Including you.
Yeah,
okay.
Right? Yeah. I hate how you play. I don't hate you. I hate how you play. Right now, I hate life right now. We lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since something was so funny after we got our butt kicked on national TV,
mm-hmm.
I just would why don't you guys come up here and we'll go through it together so we all can have a laugh. And then when it's really funny and I'll be the judge, then we'll move forward. That's what you need to do. Because these guys, look, you obviously signed, they're getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? But it's only to December. So it's been your time for a long time. So because I'm assuming that you get paid or sign a contract in January. So you kind of been doing this for a while. I started playing players. Hey, Ryan Williams. Okay, look at this catch against Georgia. Bro, you got 4 drops.
Ryan Williams has gone 4 straight games without a touchdown and 4 straight games under 100 yards.
It's not even the yards. Why are you dropping the ball? You scared? What are you scared of? Oh, sure, Simpson could play better. I say Proctor, what are you doing? Defensively, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point, we gotta have. We're not. You're not going to the DB room to watch. We watching this whole game together. Because we are in this together.
Yeah.
And then you got to be like, hey, I need to coach more. Okay. The details haven't been the details. You talked about, I guess they were talking about some guys that, when they run and gas, they ain't hit the line. I can guarantee we hitting the line. We got line police. Okay. Meeting start at 9. You better be there 8:55. Doors locked. You locked out. You're going to have to look. We've tried to look. I'll go back to the conversation we had with my dad. He said it is a democracy until you make it a dictatorship. I didn't know what either one was. He said, trust me, you'll find out. So, a few times I had to find out.
So you never did because you're so well behaved, always minding your P's and Q's, right?
No, I got jacked up a couple times. He had to, let me know where I stood, and I never forgot it.
Well, and to that point, maybe that's where this Alabama team is right now. Except who knows what the standard is that Kalen DeBoer set. Because I think generally you have the reins on a little bit tighter, the younger, more immature, more inexperienced you are, as a coach, as a parent, whatever. And then you trust your kid, your players to grow up and handle fewer moments of oversight. The older, the more mature, the more experienced they get. It's really hard to give a lot of freedom when they're young and then try to rein them in down the road.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so fascinated to watch to see how much pushback there is from inside, Jay, because not that Kalen DeBoer wants to come in, be a hard act, be someone that he's not. He's got to be himself. That's the only way he's going to be successful in Alabama. But you can have different personalities, but the same standard. And clearly that's not being met. And it's going to be a big test of Alabama's maturity to see if they have it in them to reel it in, or if Kalen DeBoer, starts to take on a little stricter tone. How much pushback is there from what positions, what groups of guys on the team? Or are they like, yeah, no, this is the kick in the pants we needed. It's time for us to lock in. This isn't who we are. Our eyes are open. You got our attention, coach.
Yeah, you could. Nick Saban still lives in Alabama, right? Or wherever, Tuscaloosa. Don't he have an office?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, I'm at least giving him an office, even if he doesn't want one.
I think he has an office. Me and him we're gonna get a nice bottle of wine, whatever. We're gonna have.
What do you think? What do you think Nick Saban drinks? He's a deep red crimson wine guy?
Probably.
I can see it. He doesn't strike me as a brown liquor guy.
We can get some. Well, he is from West Virginia. That's just probably
straight moonshine. Yeah.
Whatever. We're gonna have some steaks. We're gonna come and say, hey, look, man, I want to make this work because I think Kalen DeBoer is a good coach.
I agree.
There's no doubt about it. I think there's only one Nick Saban, like there's only one Bill Parcells, like there's only one Tom Osborne, X, Y, and Z. But I do think you need to shape where you're Kalen DeBoer for Alabama, because I think there is some learning lessons for him because he's taken over Alabama at a unique time to where it's the money that these players are getting paid or is running rampant. Mm-hmm. This isn't the Alabama that Nick Saban took over, nurtured, matured, reinvented, nurtured, matured again, then retired when it became a free-for-all. This is a new Alabama, but it's still Alabama. The stuff that's going on, you're going to take some advice from him. Don't be scared of seeking some counsel from an outside view that's been very successful, because he has an experience and a view that's not only just set in stone in Tuscaloosa. He can bring he's worldly in the football.
He's been to Miami. He's been to Baton Rouge. He's been to East Lansing. He's seen some stuff,
and he knows how to deal with the pressure of being down there.
Mm-hmm.
And he could be a great advocate. He's not trying to come take your job. If he wanted your job, he would come get it. He's not taking your job. He wants Alabama to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they've talked or whatever, and I'm sure he's like, hey, it's a little rough, and and Kalen DeBoer knows what he's seeing. I'm sure he's spinning his wheels on all right, how can I get these guys that you want to put a lot of trust in your players. You believe in your leadership. You believe in the players because he knows those players better than any of us that are talking about it. So I'm assuming that what he is seeing on tape, this is the best case scenario. What he's seeing on tape is an outlier, and it's not what he's seen before, and it was just circumstantial. Because I'm sure it was hot down there. It was humid because it just rained. I'm trying to think of every scenario.
But he's seen Gus Malzahn's offenses before.
Sure. That's on the defense. But a lot of times it comes with effort. I know the big man was out, which really hurt them. And Gus Malzahn was running the ball specifically to where he could affect the thing. But the depth is there. But then I keep going back to the players.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Even more importantly, the holdovers from Saban, because right from wrong. Young punk Jay Foreman coming in, that's just got there, that I'm good enough to play. I don't know any different.
He's not supposed to know any different.
No,
not yet.
You know right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I always think like, when they say, and sometimes another voice, another idea does help, but when it's significantly different, then that just let me know you've been making the choice. And I don't want to, if you're getting paid, and here's what I always tell people about kids getting paid, or college kids getting paid. You are getting paid at a rate when it's very high, or when you're getting paid at all, on top of your scholarship and everything, essentially as income, but you're getting paid, especially the guys that are really getting paid, you're getting paid not to be and not to play, not to act, whatever age you're at. Whether it's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, heck, you got 24, 25-year-olds. So you're getting paid.
You're 27.
Yeah. And really, you can't go, because you can't go to anybody else in the state of Alabama and cry wolf to them, because you're making probably 20, 30 times more than what they're making.
Right.
So they don't care.
Mm-mm.
Is it fair? No. It's not fair. People will say it's not fair that you're getting paid the money that you're getting paid. So you can't have it both ways. But the fact that they're not very competitive, the fact that they don't have any players, there wasn't any confrontation on the sideline, and really emotions of that, and you got guys laughing. You could say the 90s or whatever, and I'll look at you like if you're okay with getting beat, you are a loser. You should never be okay with getting embarrassed like that. You should never be okay with going out there and putting that on tape. Take the coaches out of it, because too long has been when something doesn't go right, it's the coach's fault.
If players want empowerment and they want the money, they got to get the consequences and the repercussions as well.
People looked at me crazy when I was kind of somewhat. I mean, I wasn't even really helping with Frost. I was just down there for a little bit. And I was watching, and I think, I forget, it was like, I was like, I saw, the special teams coach say, put your feet at the 8-yard line. If you have to go backwards, do not catch the ball. I saw it with my eyes.
Heard it with your ears.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know
all the above.
All right, cool. All right, well, you go to the Champaign or whatever, you catch the ball at the 1. Well, who is everybody mad at?
The coach.
What do they say about a hard head? Make for a soft,
Make for a soft behind.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah. So let's posit everything you're saying is fact. That it's over for Alabama. Their fans are going to say nothing but national championship. Anything other than that's a disappointment. I still think that their roster has the potential.
Yes, it does.
If they pull it together. But let's say they don't pull it together. This is the mental state of this Alabama team. What would you tell Alabama fans would be an overachieving year for this team? Like, if they win a game in the college football playoff, is that overachieving for this mindset? Is making the playoff overachieving?
Making the playoffs, somehow a resurgence is overachieving.
Even if they go 9-3 again?
In that vein, when you see it, it's the most disgusting thing out of it, because that's one of the most talented, best looking rosters out there.
And I'm sure as much as you're not sad to see Alabama lose, you hate to see talent like that go to waste.
Well, first of all, it's bigger than just Alabama. This is a college football problem. Well, Nick Saban was that dude. He's the one that everybody rode in behind.
Yeah. Throughout the game. Not just the SEC,
right.
Not just Bama.
He was Alexander the Great or whatever, leading everybody into battle, and he was getting everybody was getting the benefit of the doubt. Oh, you lost to Alabama by 20. You're better than the Big Ten champion. Oh, you're the bottom feeder in the SEC. You're way better than
you kept it within 40.
Right. You're way better than Iowa because you're in the SEC. Well, the fact that they're gone or he's gone, all that credibility is gone. And if the Alabama, was a big player, but also I think part of it too, and we can talk about in the next segment, the transfer portal and the NIL has watered down college football. So you're not going to get the same type of continuity. Because you could have a player and he could be stellar at Alabama and he could be playing really, really well. and somebody comes in and pays 3x. As a coach, you probably say, "Hey, you got to take that."
Mm-hmm.
Just say we had a receiver at Alabama. Say it's Ryan Williams, right? And let's just say he's getting $1 million. And let's just say Texas Tech says, we'll pay you $5 million. Well, we can only pay you $2 million. How, as a coach, if I'm really looking out for your best interest, or as a mentor, or as hopefully a lifelong confidant or whatever, that you shouldn't go take potentially, or go, be interested in making almost 3 times what I'm paying, and I'm paying you $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
Can you really blame the kid?
You can, but you would still like him to come play for you anyways.
Well, he just left after he got out. He upgraded.
Nick upgrade Sanders style.
So I mean,
I can throw Nick under the bus today. Shout out Nick being here.
That loss and those things on tape is more alarming than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Hubbard's been there for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'd been there for a while. Big 22 had been there before a while. Ryan Williams has been there.
Simpson's been there.
But
he hasn't played, but he's been there.
But Simpson competed. Now, he played hard.
He did.
Right. Now, he could play better, but the first step, he played hard.
You shouldn't be saying that at Alabama.
Some of them other dudes were chilling.
Straight up.
But you shouldn't have to be leaning on Simpson so much when your star receivers got the drops. The other one, Heat number 5, was a Jeremy Brennan. I think he had a muscle cramp or strain or something like that. But more importantly, is defense. I'm up here touting that's going to be the best D-line in the nation. You just got ran through. The fact that Florida State was talking junk to you while they were doing it, they were 1-11, 2-10,
2-10. And maybe that's what we need to shout out. As much as this is an indictment on top 10 Alabama, who won't be top 10 for very long, maybe we got to credit Florida State.
Well, we can talk about next segment.
Maybe Mike Norvell made some good hires and got some good talent. Let's do that. And a question from our starter, Heyman Jewelers. Text line D-Man, we see you. We'll get to your question when we get back to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to SmokingGunJerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
When your home fills up with family, Aloe Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Aloe Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Aloe at 866-481-2556 or visit aloefiber.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with ready-mixed concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers. Follow the Huskers to the City of Angels when Nebraska plays at UCLA in November. Book your official Nebraska alumni travel package at huskerfantravel.com. Choose from 2 or 3 night options that include a hotel in scenic Santa Monica, an exclusive welcome event, game day transportation, and the official Husker Huddle pregame party. Add on your game tickets for an optional upgrade. Transportation to and from LA is not included. Join the official Nebraska alumni trip to see the Huskers play at UCLA. Spots are limited, so book your trip now at huskerfantravel.com.
It's one of the best decisions we ever made, having Bryant install a new water softener. Now our glasses and dishes are crystal clean. We save by using less detergents and softeners, but our clothes and towels will look better and feel softer. For a quality softener system without the hassle of arm-twisting contracts, I suggest choosing Bryant. Call 467-1111 or visit BryantLincoln.com to schedule a free estimate and soften up with Bryant. At Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, we do whatever it takes.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to it, halfway home on Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. This segment brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows, based out of Howland, Nebraska. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and lifetime warranties on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give them a call today for more information at 402-430-3852. You can also visit online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. A couple things from the text line we'll get to here in just a sec. But, Jay, from the Florida State side of things, dang, impressive opener. Thomas Castellanos was able to back up his offseason trash talk. So, Diego Pavia, stage is set for you now. How about this? Florida State only throws the ball 14 times, only completes 9 passes, but they go for 152 yards. That's pretty good efficiency. But, of course, the 49 rushing attempts, 46 of them if you factor out the kneel downs at the end of the game, 46 for 236 against Alabama on the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, it's one game. You had off season to prep for it. That goes into it. I get it. Maybe Florida State found something. Maybe Mike Norvell's like, yeah, last year's not happening again. Made a couple darn good hires, got some talent out of the portal. Shout out Tony White and his defense. I mean, his defense and John Butler's defense allowed the same number of points. So you can say both sides won, I guess, in that trade-off. But shout out to Florida State. Maybe, just maybe, they found something again.
Yeah, I mean, Gus Malzahn, I mean, he was obviously at UCF and wanted to call plays. And, you know, for a guy, he's like the outlier, the guy that runs kind of tempo. And you compare him to Hugh Freeze and Lane. He runs the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And once he finds like a little chink in your armor, I mean, he's going to keep running at you. And then I think the quarterback really made some plays and wore them out. And I will say this, a mobile running quarterback is the hardest thing to defend in any age of college football, but in particularly right now, can't strike them. So they're running with a lot less fear. The rules are set up so you can be way more aggressive in the passing game. And then schematic wise, Gus Malzahn, once he finds a weakness and you got a quarterback that fits his system, who he knew before, and they kind of been waiting to kind of get his hands on him. I mean, it was the perfect game plan for the situation.
To that point about running quarterbacks, Matt Rule said in his presser today, we'll get more of this at 5 or the 5 o'clock hour. Said the holy grail of things that make for a tough cover of an offense. They run outside zone effectively, if they go tempo, and if they have a mobile quarterback. That's kind of the unholy trinity, I guess, for defensive coaches to scheme against. He says that's what Cincinnati did a lot of, made them tough. Nebraska still found a way to win. What is it about those three things in tandem that they're so difficult?
Well, outside zone is that you can get to the edges. That means they're probably resetting the edge because you're not able to set the edge. Tempo is just more or less, I think, communication, and then obviously you got a young defense trying to gel right now, so it's probably more problematic in game 1 versus like game 5. You get what I'm saying? First game, and obviously he had Sorsby had been in this offense before, so that's kind of like a double factor with the second one. And a mobile guy, as I told you, the hardest thing to deal with is you got great coverage. You think you got great leverage on, in your coverage, and then your pass rush breaks down in the sense of you have to be at the right levels. You have to rush it'd be very disciplined. And he breaks the pocket, which Castellanos did. And he did some stuff to get out of there where the guys were doing the right thing. He was just better. And then he gets on the loose and there's space. It can be a problem. Same with Sorsby. I mean, he gets loose and he's a great athlete. And he did this last year, kind of like the same stat line. Remember the game where he ran for all those yards and he had
Iowa State?
Yeah. He only threw for 60 some yards, I think. Same thing. And so, he provided some problems. I think, Nebraska can use this tape for when maybe you play Michigan State's quarterback can run a little bit. Maryland's quarterback can run a little bit, probably not to this clip. But for for the future, you can definitely learn from it, maybe different pass rush, stunts, and learn, and the guys got to learn from it as well.
Let's go to our text line here, brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. John says, I don't feel bad for Alabama. They've been good forever. Their fan base needs to know what it's like to not be better, what they have been for a while, and find out that it's not all sunshine and roses. John, let's take Alabama out of that text, put Nebraska in there. Sure, that's the same thing that have been texted to hundreds of radio stations across the country about Nebraska.
Listen,
so guess what? Now it's Alabama's
That's
turn.
what I would say. I would call I play with Rutledge and all these guys and say, if you don't get it together, buckle up, because people have been waiting for it. It's the dominant run from just say from 83 to 2003, give or take. And I know that with Bo and they were obviously before, but it's been some time where teams have been waiting for Nebraska's downfall. They've been waiting, and now there's blood in the water.
They're going to pounce on it.
And now you're going to have indirect rivals. Iowa was a rival of Nebraska before we even joined the Big Ten. When Nebraska started to slow down, they started to compare themselves to Nebraska. Then now obviously they in the same Big Ten conference, and so. I think it's getting close to that. I think they have a more realistic. They're in the time right now. They have a chance to stop the bleeding,
to take the kick in the pants, turn it around.
This could be something where it turns them around. Maybe you're not going to go in the 20-year run like they did before because of all the dynamics, but to get kicked in the teeth like that. To get beat up like you did against Michigan, who had their 45th string quarterback in there. And
that was an odd number. It wasn't even an even number.
46th and 44th. It was bad. And then the way you lost to Vanderbilt the year before. You had was it number 15? I think his last name was Harrison. who had like multiple like personal fouls,
Oh,
outbursts.
Mhm.
And at least, heck, in that case, I'll take the emotion. At least he cared, right? Now we
Yeah.
gotta really control how you
Gotta
do it.
channel
now.
it,
Yeah,
but-
channel it. But yeah, it's teams have been waiting for your downfall.
D-Man on the text line kind of feeds into that. I'm too young to remember. Was this what it was like in 2002 for Nebraska? Seems like the world is ending for Alabama. Jay, I know you were a little busy in 2002 with this little NFL deal. I'm also a little bit too young to remember, but it wouldn't shock me if the dynamics were similar. Because, like, it wasn't bad under Frank Solich. It was just a noticeable step down, and I'm sure it did feel like the world was ending.
Yeah. I think everybody looks at that national championship game as I was like that Colorado game. When Chris Brown he looked like Eric Dickerson back there. Right?
Yeah.
And then like you needed 5 things to happen and then he got in.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like fool's gold. And then the clock struck 12. It could be, I think Bo did some good things and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Bama. I think they have enough pride. The SEC has enough invested in them being good. It won't go to the depths of hell per se, but I also know it's potentially could because they, the way that they've been playing. Now they have to make sure that they, at least from top to bottom, before it gets into the locker room, that they have the standard that they want to be met. And then they need to go recruit specifically guys that will uphold that standard. Now it's hard because you could get a great leader and be a great player. He doesn't have to be a great player, just that somebody else needs him. And then you got to be willing to pay for it.
Claytonia John says the Bill Callahan years were the end of the world, literally. Let's not forget that Bill Callahan made more bowl games and won more division titles than Nebraska's previous head coach before the current guy, and made more bowl games than the guy before that current guy. But I think it goes to your point about the culture. Who are you hiring? But this is another aspect of it, Jay. That was like the 40-some day coaching search to finally land on Bill Callahan. I used to be of the mindset that, oh yeah, these big programs should be able to hire whoever they want. What we're finding is that's just not true. Because think about Nebraska. Maybe it's a little different coming off Frank Solich, the way he was let go. Maybe it's the Steve Peterson factor that maybe eroded some trust. But I mean, you're less than 10 years removed. You're 6 years removed from the 97 title at that point. 6 years, 7 years. That's still within enough recent memory, even with all the changes in college football. You would have thought Nebraska could have gone out there and landed a guy. I would have thought the same thing for Carolina. They handed over to their guy, Hubert Davis. At least that was in the family, and I love how that's worked out personally. Syracuse.
Yeah.
Villanova after Jay Wright retired. I mean, these programs, Kentucky, who I think made a good hire in Mark Pope, but not the big splashy guy. You kidding me? You're telling me Scott Drew wouldn't leave little old Baylor for Lexington? I know he's built a life family, built that program up from basically the death penalty on the basketball side of things. I am less and less convinced that it's easy for these big, powerful blue blood programs to just flex their muscle and hire whoever they want anymore. I think there's a lot more at play than just, oh, we're a bigger name, bigger brand school. That, I mean, we can go back and relitigate, should Alabama have hired Kalen DeBoer? Yeah, he's the opposite of Saban in a lot of ways. But I don't think there was just a long line of top head coaches. Dabo was toxic at the time. Kirby's not leaving Georgia. Sark was unproven. You can go get Harbaugh to Alabama. He's a flight risk for the NFL and all that. I'm not saying Kalen DeBoer was the perfect hire. I think Kalen DeBoer makes a lot of sense, though, at the time.
And it still does.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, he's a good coach. I think there's no doubt about it. He's more than qualified. I think he's worked his way up. He's successful. You don't get to the place that he's been, places that he's been not being a good coach.
Right.
Period. I think how you coach at Alabama is different.
You have to keep your same principles, but it's going to look and come out a little bit differently.
Yeah.
At a blue blood like that.
And maybe it's just that he wants to be the same. Then you have to make sure whoever you got to have a couple assistants on each side of the ball that either portray or are what you aren't. I always talk about Lane Kiffin.
Complementary football.
Yeah. One of my really good friends, J.C. Clark, is neighbors with Lane Kiffin down in Ole Miss. And so he knows Lane. I obviously knew Lane or know Lane or whatever. And I always, I'll hear from Lane maybe once when he's with JC or whatever. But he said the best thing the thing that Lane's learned is that he has somebody that plugs the holes and does things that he's not good at.
Cover your blind spots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he learned from Saban.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
who was that guy for Saban? Who were those guys? Was that getting the offensive coordinators that maybe had to take him out of his comfort zone a little bit?
Probably Lane and Sark and
O'Brien at all? Or they more similar?
They're probably more similar. And, I think Saban did a lot of things really good. He could probably schmooze with people because he could recruit. But I think with DeBoer, it's a weird mix. Everybody wants to blame him and say this is it. Sure. Yes and no, because he's not running like a tight end meeting. He isn't running a linebacker meeting.
No.
So if I'm the linebacker coach and Austin Norman is late,
that shouldn't get to the head coach.
That's on me.
It's got to get to you.
That's what you're paying me for.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on me. I got to deal with you personally, and then I got to really tighten up the leaders. And if you're a leader, well, then now you're not a leader because a leader isn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to reshape that room, and you have to be willing to do it. Now bring in the money and all that stuff. It's a little bit harder, but you're a head coach. You're gonna take a lot of arrows for what happens on the field. It did not look good. It didn't look significantly different than last year.
Right.
Now, I think Jalen Milroe was a lot better than what people give him credit for. And so some of the things that and it's also a process to where this is the new Alabama. So as much as he has to adjust to Alabama, Alabama has to also do an adjustment towards him as well. Because Nick Saban isn't coming back.
No.
Okay. Dante Hightower isn't walking through there and all this. He's right. Right. So this is a new Alabama, and the standard is different. The expectations are different because college football is different. So getting to the college football playoffs is probably priority number one. You can't think about that until you control the controllables. That's where the frustration comes from. Mm-hmm. Because look, in this day and age of college football, you could play Florida State and they could end up being a top 10 team, and you're like, all right, how they lost, no big deal. But it has to look a lot different,
mm-hmm. and feel a lot different.
And it feel a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
That felt like
the end of something.
It felt like a front running team.
Mm-hmm.
That when they get punched, they're like, hey, this is uncomfortable for me. Well, I thought we were going to come down here to Tallahassee, and you guys are just going to lay down for us when we just come right in with our same, RVs and all that other stuff. Well, they turned up 2010 on you, and you lost by essentially 20 points. I mean, you lost by 14, but they turned the faucet off.
Mm-hmm. And lost $50,000 in the process, but I think they'll make that trade any day.
Yeah.
I'd storm the field. Nebraska beat Alabama at home.
Oh, they hit up some booster out there. They hit
Bobby Bowden Trust Fund.
Yeah, they hit it. Yeah.
Hey, got to borrow a little bit.
Oh, they probably got to GoFundMe or something. They probably
31-17, Florida State takes down Bama. We'll be back to wrap up Hour 2 of Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 2nd are $1 off buns, 15% off cheese and crackers, 10-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished New York strips for $17.99 each, and steakhouse burger packs for $13.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North, with locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Another hour yet to go. We'll also have the weekly talk with Tom Chattel. This segment brought to you by Love Volleyball Nebraska. Love Volleyball Omaha just rebranded as Love Volleyball Nebraska. To renew your season tickets or secure them for the first time, visit lovb.com. Jay, some stats on Micah Parsons. It still feels like we haven't necessarily had a chance to dive into everything surrounding that trade, the context and everything. A couple things I think that stood out to me. First of all, the Packers this year will become the first team in NFL history to pay $100 million annually to just 2 players on the roster in terms of average annual value. Over 50 mil for Jordan Love, I think 54, 55 mil for him, and 47 million for Micah Parsons. That's 102 million of the 250 mil salary cap. That's a cool 40% tied up in now, arguably the 2 most important positions, arguably the 2 best players on the roster, but that's, I think, something to monitor. And then the other thing I think was worth pointing out, so DP's brought this up a little bit, but you think back to the Charles Haley trade.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Carmen Policy was the 49ers president and CEO when they traded Charles Haley to the Cowboys. How about this? In August 25, the Cowboys have traded Micah Parsons to the Packers, whose president and CEO is Carmen Policy's son, Ed. He's atoning for his dad's sins. Different organization. I know there's no love lost between the Niners and the Packers, but sports are crazy like that sometimes.
Yeah. I still can't believe they traded him.
It happened.
I still can't believe Jerry Jones did that.
It was an ego thing for Jerry, right? You disrespected me. You got to get out of here.
I don't know. I don't. How did like my whole thing is like, what did he do? What did Micah Parsons do? You know, that was so bad.
I didn't think anything. I thought it was
Right.
business as normal, but
Yeah.
apparently Jerry took it as a slight.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, look, there's two things that you do not ever get rid of at the pro level. And you can
Quarterback?
say college too. A franchise quarterback or a program quarterback and a legit pass rushers because they are so hard to find.
And those are two pretty stable, consistent positions year to year.
If you can rush the passer, you're a unicorn. If you're a franchise or program quarterback, a legit one, you're a unicorn.
So then did Georgia make the wrong move in letting Carson Beck walk? Because it worked out for Miami so far.
I think with the upgrade in receivers that they have through the portal, which is stupid. Here's the funny thing about Georgia. So when he was there, they led the nation in drops.
Yeah, it was bad last year.
But then the quarterback was horrible.
Mhm.
So the quarterback leaves. You probably get a less talented quarterback, and then you upgrade the receivers. But I do like was it Stockton Bennett or was it
Gunnar Stockton.
Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah.
I do like him.
Stockton Bennett is a
Yeah.
perfect name for him, though.
He is a mix.
Yeah.
They probably made a little bit of a mistake, but by the way Georgia plays, I don't think the emphasis is on quarterback play. It's more kind of like that Greg McElroy type of, like
AJ McCarron.
Yeah.
Jacob
AJ
Coker.
McCarron was cold-blooded, though. He just went to the Bengals at the wrong time. I liked him. I think he just is he still with that girl?
I don't know. If Brett Musburger had it his way, he wouldn't be.
Yeah, I think that kind of like because she became the first round pick and he became the third round pick.
Right.
It was supposed to be the other way around.
Carson Palmer or Joe Burrow?
Hey, Carson Palmer before
Cold-blooded dude.
Kimo Von Offlin got a hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Carson Palmer.
And that's no slight to Joe Burrow.
There's no slight to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is Carson Palmer before he got hurt. Joe Burrow's cold-blooded too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know who's his fashion advisor. You guys, Macaulay Culkin. But,
yeah, that's a problem.
But yeah, I still can't believe Jerry Jones really did this.
Oh, yeah. And had no hesitations, no reservations
Like, I
about
think
it.
this is a joke. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Micah Parsons did practice for the first time as a
Yeah, we
Packer.
saw it.
So
It's official.
unless it's Photoshop, but I'm going to believe that it's real. Isn't it funny how his back issue magically cleared up too?
Then they talking about he's gonna get epidural or something like that. That brother practice. He gonna be A-OK.
He'll be fine.
Fresh legs like a mug. He gonna be destroying cats too. He gonna be killing people.
He'll be a little colder, but he's used to that in Happy Valley, so
Yeah.
not the end of the world for him.
It's tough, man. But he got paid. Congratulations to him. Well deserved because he earned it.
Don't tell that to Jerry Jones too loudly. He might disagree with you. We'll go to break. We'll hear from Matt Rule and plenty more ahead in the final hour of Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 2nd are $1 off buns, 15% off cheese and crackers, 10-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished New York strips for $17.99 each, and steakhouse burger packs for $13.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North, with locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through August at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 1.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.2% interest fixed for up to another 36 months. When planning for this year's harvest, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your Landmark Implement today and check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
Goddamn right.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates, and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 3 on this Labor Day? Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt / Old Cheney, 168th and Maple up there in the O. The one thing that we have not noticed, Austin, is the rain has finally stopped.
Oh, how about that?
Well, knock on wood.
Remember what happened last time Akron came to town, Jay?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. But
let's get out of the way early this time.
Let's just beat the brakes off these.
35-point favorites.
It's a night game too. You need listen. You guys need to. We need to have running clock, but we need to find a way just to have a little mishap with the clock and just blow these dudes out the water. I think the game is obviously the great thing about the game being played Thursday. Nebraska won, obviously, which is head and shoulders the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they won in a different way than in previous years before because they found ways to lose those type of games. And they didn't do the things that they did to win in those losses, meaning no turnovers, won the turnover battle, low penalties, even though one very untimely, good special teams. You made a 51 or 52-yard field goal, all that stuff. You punted well. You did all this stuff. You did a lot of good things. So you were able to kind of do that. Obviously, got to work on some stuff, right? Every coach would tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I'm sure if Nebraska won by 3 touchdowns, Matt Rule would be like, it's not as – because coaches to tell you, when you win by a lot, it's not as good as it looks. And if you happen to lose, it's not as bad as it looks. So there's always work to be done. Well, you get to do that. Then so you get you some time off. And then now now you get to move on to Akron. But the problem is you got the internet heads that are still wanting to focus on Cincinnati and like draw conclusions over it. So you just got to really evaluate it and then recognize it. I will say this, with these type of kids and this new age of kids, and I always say that like some of my best lessons in sports were from losses or failures, and that's probably what drove me more than anything is the fear of failure. But I always talk about if my dad probably knew how I was wired. I'm competitive. I want to kill everybody. I don't like I'm trying to destroy you. But also though, like I was taking some L's, like when I first got here, like numerous L's and numerous bad practices, and there was regret there.
And you're supposed to believe you're getting better despite the L's.
But there was regret on my own part. I did not listen to my dad. I was like, yeah, right. And then I came down here and it was like, what the heck? Now, my dad said, I went and worked I worked at Menards and I was working at this place called Rainbow Foods, which is like Hy-Vee, pushing carts and whatever, right? Saved up my money, had, cut lawns. I did whatever. Hey, look, if you was paying, I was playing. You know what I mean? So I was, wanted to buy my own car. My dad, he gave me a little bit, but 90% of it was me because he's like, I want you to have ownership of it. But the rule was once you go to college, he told me, until I get my first semester, because he knew I was probably going to be kicking it, right? My first semester grades, you're not getting your car. But I think it was a little bit of that, a lot of probably me being homesick, right? And then just get my butt kicked for the first time, legitimately. And, there was times that when I left like these players probably they got cars, they got scooters and all that. We had to walk. After 2 Tom Osborne practices, we limped back there.
Abel Sandos to Avery Hall, not a smooth walk necessarily.
Right, it's a long walk too, right? In
the Hawk,
right? And the veterans were going back home. They had cars, so it was hard to bum rides off of them. They probably had to walk. They're like, man, you need to walk back. But I could almost bet probably, I don't know if I would have really went through with the act. But there was times I was thinking about going home. I was like, dang. But the fear of the good, healthy fear of not wanting to be that guy that failed or not being that guy that lived up to his potential or worked to get to my potential did it. Now, how does that correlate to where Nebraska is? Like, I've been at those. I learned a lot from that. You got to have some hard self-talks in that grimy dorm room. We don't live in suites like they have. Whereas, like, I think kids these days, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I wish they would probably have a little bit of what I, kind of learned from. But kids these days learn better from wins. You get their attention more. So, long story short, this is a great week that they have their attention because you won. But whatever he thinks that this as a staff they need to do better, he should have their attention because he's probably had to reset the standard and all that stuff, and you want to keep pushing those guys towards it. So you should have their full attention, even if you're playing an Akron team that on paper doesn't look very well. Look very good.
I think especially because you're playing Akron. Because it's easy to get up for Cincinnati when it's the first game and it's in an environment like that. I know Matt Rule talked a little bit today about how, he has a home crowd, but still a lot of the road stuff went into it. But this is a team in Akron that is not very good. Plain and simple. Bottom line, not trying to be disrespectful, just not at the level. But here's the thing. They're good enough to beat you if you let them. If you don't take them seriously, you let them hang around. Crazier things have happened. Nebraska's not so good and Akron's not so bad that it's never happened before.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember? So there's Bobby Hurley, that's at Arizona State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Billy that's at, who's at Connecticut?
Dan.
Mm-hmm. And Billy's their dad, right? Well, it doesn't matter. Well, did you ever see the video of when he was coaching?
Bob Hurley.
Bob Hurley.
Yeah.
Did you ever see when Bob Hurley Sr. was coaching his team in New Jersey, and they were undefeated? They were ranked nationally, and they were going in the state championship game. And they must have had they looked like it was early in the morning. So he kicked everybody out of practice that he thought shouldn't have been there. So essentially, the guys that were going to play were there. He said, listen, you guys got a lot of things going on and all this other stuff. We're playing in a state championship game. You guys haven't won a state championship. You guys are ranked so-and-so in the nation, and you're better than this team. If you lose, he was like, if you lose this game
to these scrubs,
to these dudes, you're going to go down as the worst team in history at this school. I mean, I was like, Austin, it take a lot for me. I was like, dang. Right?
You've probably heard it before, and that was something new.
And he was like, so when you go home tonight and you think you got to get your mind right and get motivated for this game, you think about that. Now, that I'm sure Matt Rule won't give them that type of motivate, but
what if he does?
It'll work.
Can I tell you, I got that speech once. I can name the school too.
Really?
Yeah. So it would have been, I think it was my junior year of baseball. And we were going out to a team who's been much better recently, made the state baseball tournament at least once or twice since then, but relatively new program, super young. And I won't name the school just out of respect. But our coach, assistant coach, walked us down the line right before we took our in and out, said, guys, it's this school. You don't lose to this school. Ready, break. That was the entire speech. Guys, it's them.
Yeah.
You don't lose to them. And that has stuck with me for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yes, there's some arrogance in that, absolutely.
But it is.
But sometimes you need some of that. I'm sorry. Northern Illinois, you popped up, you beat Notre Dame too. But come on, there's a reason that's a huge upset. Marshall, you don't lose to Marshall.
Yeah.
You just don't do it if you're one of these big programs. You just don't. Plain and simple. No matter what it takes, you just don't lose to them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be part of it. But also, I think the big part is you got to focus on what you got to get better at is us versus us. You got to play a faceless opponent. And I really want to challenge you guys to see how mature you are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how you handle it. Let's see. There's two ways you can think of it. Number one, you got a lot to work on. So you got to be on them hard because you got to work at it. Because number one, that's what you should be doing every week. But number two, that's what you want them to do is get better at whatever they need to improve at. But then at sometimes you want to see how they handle it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle success? How do you handle a quote unquote 2-week break? And then if you ain't handling it right, then I gotta go ahead and just then I gotta go nuclears in.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that before with the AU team that I coach. I've said it before. Matter of fact,
how do the kids like it?
They don't. I know some of these dudes. I know exactly what they say, but the one thing they cannot say about me is that I didn't care about them. I believed in them more than they should. My methods probably didn't whatever. I've been on both sides of this, that talk.
Do you like giving it more or hearing it more?
I've been on it probably 4 or 5 times. In high school, we were playing a team, and they were on, like you said, they were on the come up. And then finally, Coach Graham was like, hey, listen, all right, I'm tired of he's like, because they must have made him mad. He's like, I'm tired of being Mr. Nice Guy. All right. I'm tired of hearing about it. We're who we are. They are who they are. Don't come back until the job's done. He's like, and he told us, he's like, I'm not turning the gas off. That took us to warp speed. You know what I mean? But in coaching basketball, we played this team called like Omaha Elite. And I don't know what the backstory is or whatever. Like I probably seen this dude like twice. Like I think I don't even remember because I'm just out there just doing my thing. You know what I mean? I'm not I'm not a big arguer with the refs or anything like that. And we've had some success against them or whatever. It's been battles. I mean, coming up when they're walking and chewing gum. You could lose by 20, win by 20. But as we got older, I think we did all right. Now I was told after we beat him that the coach was like, "I'm tired of losing to this dude. We are not losing to him again." Right? And I was like, dang. First of all, he's a brother. So I was like, I thought we was cool. Right?
You thought.
Yeah. Yeah. So we played him another time, or 2 more times. They beat it. He beat the second. He beat it I brought the team up. He got the dub. So I was like, all right, I gotta come back with the horses then. I guess I gotta do what I gotta do. So that was one time. But then I remember we were playing a local organization, and I remember looking down, and I was just like, all right, cool. You got some of these local like college coaches there or whatever. He was like, we are so and so. I was like,
we are.
I said, and I said, we digging off in you right now, just to let you know.
You see that little scoreboard up there? See the number by our name? See the number by yours?
And I said, I did at that time, I was like, these kids are like in 8th, 9th grade, and your kids are like juniors. I was just to let you know, these are dudes ain't even gotten to high school, registered for high school yet. We dig it off.
Puberty's still around the corner.
Yeah, I brought a kid that was like 7th grade, from the neighborhood. We need some bodies. We running through you right now, just a little, give you a little heads up, but it can work both ways. I don't know, man. It's the coaching thing is tough because dealing with. I'm telling you, the hardest thing for these kids now, in the way that they've been brought up. You got to think when say you're on a good team, like whether it's a club 7-on-7 team or. You're on a elite or whatever they're called, Warren Academy and all that. And then you go and you're playing in these tournaments. Let's just start at 6th grade. You got talent or basketball. You've had, when these kids are coming, they haven't dealt with much adversity. They haven't because a lot of times these teams are stacked. You're running through everybody. You're getting social media. All these kids got social media. So they're getting all these like retweets. Or whatever, whatever it likes, impressions or whatever you call it. You go to high school and you're still good, and you're still playing your same sport or sports. It goes to warp speed, and then you come to college and you start winning, or you go to school and you're winning. So the hardest thing for these guys to deal with is success because they don't know anything else. They don't. Is it their fault? No, not necessarily, but it's the truth. That's why the reaction to adversity is so drastic.
And that's where the winner tag is a positive and a negative because you want to recruit guys that are from successful programs. All they know how to do is win because you assume they know how to put in the work behind the scenes to win.
Yeah. You want guys that you want to trust in the coaches and the programs that they've been held accountable, that they are really good athletes. You wouldn't be recruiting them if they weren't a good athlete, that they're willing to, play within a team environment, so forth and so on.
But then the other part of being a winner is when you lose. You're a real winner. You've gone through the battles. You take it. You win again next time.
Yeah.
Next time that situation pops up, you're better for it.
Like that girl in the U.S. Open.
Right.
She was like, you should be, you did not win the right way. No, you lost the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I think first of all, the hardest thing to deal with is it is losing. Because you generally don't like kids or players that are okay with losing. because you can't never win with him.
Mhm.
But on the same side, if you don't have players that can, like, I guess, lose the right way, and I call it more, I think lose. I'll say this: kids that lose like losing. Okay, they're okay with that. The other flip side is not losing; you're learning.
Mhm.
There's not enough learners from adversity. That's probably the best way to describe it. But on the double flip side of that,
So we're back to the original side, or is this a three-sided
now
coin?
we're back to winning.
Okay, back to winning.
Okay.
Where we belong.
Yeah. What we like to be is the guys that are winners. That means they put it, they're a pro, or they're put in a winning effort day in and day out. Versus the quote unquote, like what I talked about, Alabama, or the guys that really like winning when it's easy, or the front runners.
Mhm.
It's hard to see between both, on both sides.
Until that moment hits. And then it becomes really obvious.
Yeah. But it doesn't happen enough. And then when you do show yourself, all you gotta do is pick up your phone, and then that's like their binky. That's the soft landing for it. On both ways.
Mhm.
If you want your back rubbed and your belly rubbed, they'll tell you how great you are. And on the same thing, it's like, all right, don't worry about it. You just win next week, or you just play. It didn't been that big a deal. It's the coach's fault. You know what I mean? And then this is not a shot at any players, or that's just the dynamics of coaching.
Mhm.
Just imagine that you're trying to run an organization, and you got, well, in football's case, you got 105 guys. Basketball, heck, all you need is 2.
Right. Well, unless you're Rutgers, but
yeah, that's true. Right. Well, yeah, that's true. But all you need is 2 either way in basketball.
Mhm. Exception proves the rule.
Except, it's 2. Well, let's just say 3, because those 3 will bring another 4 with them. So there's your 7. Well, these 2 on the other side, they'll take the whole team and the coaches. They'll even take the fans with them. They'll be on the underground back channel talking junk about their teammates. So, I mean, it's a hard dynamic to kind of, trying to coach kids. You want to give them enough leeway. You want to help them learn, fast forward how to be an adult, how to deal with success, how to be humble.
Mhm.
That's probably the hardest thing, is how to be humble, how to take coaching. It's weird when you talk to kids, and you're trying to, like, I think they've always grown up, maybe even been told that, like, everybody's like, if somebody's trying to give you advice, they're trying to, like, take something from it, which is the weirdest thing. Like, they just get this, like, glossed over look on their face. I'll be looking at them like, dude, you look like an idiot. Like, I didn't, because we never got it. As much as we had, like, guys that were in pros that come back, we sought out advice from them. We never really got free advice. Like, the people was like, oh, did your dad have you out in the backyard training? He was like, I don't know. You, Jamal, Kenny, Leroy, and Quincy, take you down to North Minneapolis. I'll see you about 6 p.m. And here's like 50 cents to call, because back then that you could just need that,
Just
to
pay
call.
phone.
Right.
Mhm.
We never had any. Now, times have changed. But I think that's probably the hardest thing in coaching, is doing what you need to do, and then reeling them back in, refocus. That's what live on stage. That's why I say it's like 12 independent chapters that you wish, that you're hoping that it flows over, and it's a well-written book. But you have to really, like, you have control, but you don't have control.
And that's the toughest part, I think, as a coach, is that everything is in your control, but is it really? All you can do is get the message out there. All you can do is run the drills and expect something.
Yeah.
It's not really up to you how that translates on Saturday.
No, that's why leadership is so important. That's why, culture is so important. Buy-in. And your job is in my opinion, like I said, Matt Rule's got to come with the blueprint, right? And then the leaders on the team have to take that blueprint in the core values, say it's, 8, non-negotiables, and they need to take that into the locker room.
Mhm.
And those
And the classroom.
And the classroom.
And the training
And the
table.
training room. In the real life, and the off season, and all that.
Mhm.
Then when you do that, then when you have some of the things that went on in the Alabama game, or like when they're talking about guys being late to meetings, then you don't have to. Yes, of course you'd have to go see the coach, but you've already been, put to the test by your teammates.
Mhm.
I always talk about, when Christian, by that time, I don't even know if I had my fake ID then. Yeah, I had one.
I know. I'm not laughing at the thought of having
I'm
one.
just thinking about it because I think there was something going on. And, I was just trying to, like I said, I was the new starter, hadn't played since high school. So I'm trying to just get in where I fit in. I'm just not trying to, I'm like the referee. I don't want anybody to know my name except for when I make tackles. You know what I'm saying? I want to grade out well, do what I need to do, and make sure that I'm not the main reason we don't win a national championship back to back.
Did I hear you and Nick talking about giving him the business ref?
Yeah.
Was that the two of you?
Yeah.
Did Nick not know who that was?
He did not know.
Ron Cherry, baby.
Yeah, he didn't know who that was.
That's incredible.
So, something was going on, and I remember Christian was like, "Hey, look, he pretty much said, you don't have to worry about Coach Osborne. You don't have to worry about him. You get in trouble, you got to come see me." Oh, 9:00. I'm waiting for the call. Yeah, what's up, Coach Sam? I'm at the crib. I'm snuggled up too.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I'm tucked in.
Night.
Yeah, hurry up and call before the melatonin kicks in or something. So yeah,
this warm milk's getting cold.
Yeah. So that's the hardest part, I think, with coaching is trying to.
Is having your finger on the pulse, but also letting go. There's just some inherent contradiction.
Yeah, and there's the emotions of the game, and you're sitting there, and you're just. I mean, I'm sure there's some control because you got other guys you can play, and that's your ultimate ace in the hole.
The Danny Busboom Kelly, we'll call it.
Yeah,
talk about Return of the Jedi there, Jay.
Yeah, they got pushed to the test though.
They did.
A little reverse sweep, right?
First time since 2016 against Penn State.
Yeah, who did that to them, right?
Mm-hmm. Last year.
That could bode well for the future.
Just don't play with your food like that next time, ladies. Come on.
Yeah. Don't get caught slipping like that. But I think it's good for him though. So, anyways, we'll take a quick break. We'll do some audio. Get my thoughts on what Coach Rule says about about Dylan. And he'll talk a little bit about we already covered the running quarterback with maybe some defense stuff. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Oerman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through August at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines. Or lock in a 1.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.2% interest fixed for up to another 36 months. When planning for this year's harvest, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your Landmark Implement today and check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, second segment. We'll dive in a little bit of audio before we turn it over to Tom Chattel before Bill Belichick. Hoodie is in the building. He's like Darth Vader, boy. I am your father. You will throw it in the flat on 3rd and 10. You will throw it 2 yards. Anyways, got some Matt Rule spoke today, so let's see what he had to say on what you got, Dylan?
Yeah, we can talk about Dylan Raiola. Here is about 2 minutes on QB1 from Matt Rule.
Yeah, I think Dylan was excellent. I think anytime you throw the ball 42 times and we don't have a turnover, I'm going to say the quarterback played well, unless it's 42 times in a loss where you're trying to come back. I think there's maybe 3 plays he'd like back. The 4th and 2 that we didn't get. He made an aggressive check, which is, part of the game. And I think if he would have just stayed with the play, he'd be the first to tell you that. So he said that. But I love that. I love the fact that he was aggressive. Like, we want to play that way. Like 4th and 2, we put the ball in his hands. He went and got it. The play he made to Luke Lindenmeyer, where he pulled the ball and ran and then put the ball on Luke's outside shoulder and Luke dragged the guy to the 1. Too bad we didn't come away with a touchdown there, but those are big time plays. I thought you saw Dylan advance the ball in the red zone, and that was a defense. That defense, I talked about it last week. That 3-2 defense, that's what we ran at Baylor. It's a great Big 12 defense. It's so hard to go against because they're going to constantly keep everything in front of you. So we had 18. We were 10 of 18 on 3rd down, and one of them, and also we're 1 and 2 on 4th down. So you're 61% on. I think it's 61% on. I think that's what they said to me on 3rd down. But you're in way too many third downs. You can't be in 18 third downs. And so, but part of that's the way that they play, right? Like they're just constantly making you matriculate the ball. We set a goal of let's get the ball in play 55 times. What I mean by that is let's get 55 runs or completions. 52, like in the NFL, you'll say is a win, 56. Sometimes in college, we were like 64 times, something like that. But we just never kind of broke them. And then when we got down the red zone, we had to kick 2 field goals, right? So, but I don't put that on him. I think what Dylan showed us was the maturity. Like, he's got Patrick Mahomes there, which he obviously respects and is friends with. And he's not out there. He wasn't out there trying to make cowboy plays. He was playing quarterback. And that's what I want. Like, we'll get better and better and better. I thought in the first half, our run game, we had 76 yards rushing in the first half. He was getting to the right checks. And I think, he'd tell you there's maybe 1, maybe 2 plays he wishes he made a different check. But guys, we give him a ton of freedom. He has more freedom than most quarterbacks in the country probably have. And so, and he's right most of the time. And, he's right more than I would be. So I'll take it. So I thought he played excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I think he threw for 240 yards, 70%,
78%, darn near 80%. Yeah.
80% completion rate, 2 TDs. Man, you can't, if you do that 12 times, I mean, we're going to be making some pretty good New Year's or 2026 plans for where they're going in the bowl game. So,
when you hear that Matt Rule and Dana Holgorsen are giving him that much freedom to make checks at the line,
yeah,
what stands out about that to you?
Well, it just shows that he has a grasp of the offensive system. They trust him. More importantly, he works at it. You don't get that type of freedom just because you're a former 5-star recruit. You don't get that. You got to earn that type of trust. You almost have to be to a point that you're challenging the coaches so much that it's not enough. The basics aren't enough. Mm-hmm. And that's probably what happened because he, grew up around football and he wants to, learns it and he's able to execute it as well. So, and then plus you want your quarterback to own it and you want it to be his offense, obviously extension of Coach Dana and go from there. So, I mean, look, you got the keys. You're the driver, dude. There is no, huge quarterback competition. We've been through that. You're the guy, but that doesn't mean you relax. We got to challenge you, and maybe that's part of it. But he's answered that challenge from a knowledge of schematic standpoint, and that should be, enticing in the sense of, all right, this guy wants to learn this offense to the point that where he wants to own it, and he's shown the ability to know not only when and why we're making checks, and it gives the players a lot of confidence because he's truly in that sense leading the offense.
Left tackle.
Sure.
Here's Matt Rule on the state of the left tackle position.
Yeah, we're not going to be a 3-man rotation real long, but I think everybody had some good plays. Everybody had some plays like back. I mean, sort of some of the things I talked to you guys about one last week, held true, right? So, I mean, we false started at the 1-foot line, but there were also a lot of good plays too. So, we just felt like everyone deserved a chance to play and we wanted to put it on tape. I think sometimes you have to see your team versus other teams to see exactly what you're doing well and not doing well. The old, I don't know if Coach Osborne or Coach Solich said it, but Coach Paterno used to say to us all the time, you make your biggest improvement between week 1 and week 2. So, part of that's also kind of refining that and seeing where those guys fit. And, right tackle, we played just Teddy, we didn't play Tyler. So we'll go through this week. I think the good thing is I think everyone knows that we'll rotate. So they all have to have, a chance to compete and practice. And as a player, that's all you can really want is a chance to compete. So we graded the tape and we'll just kind of look at it this week too.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you want that solidified and, there's probably something that, little things that, that each player that needs to improve on is probably, holding them back from taking that next step. But obviously it's to the point that where he's pretty much says it's not going to be 3 guys rotating. It's probably at most going to be 2 unless somebody steps up. So whoever that is or whoever those guys are, they need to take it upon themselves to get a hold of that position. Number 1, it's a tremendous opportunity. Number 2, you work way too hard and long not to be this close, but yet so far. And number 3, which is probably more important than anything, you got 120 other guys that need you to need you. You should think they need me to do this. So it's probably something little or whatever you need to do. I'm sure each of them have a report or like an idea of what they need to do to get better or to, get majority of those reps.
Same thing at running back. Matt Rule said he would have played more guys than Dana Holgorsen did. Here's more on Matt Rule on playing the backup running backs more.
Yeah. I wasn't happy with it. Dana was like, hey, he made the call. So I let my coordinators coach. I wanted to get Isaiah and Mekhi in, but once Dana said to me, hey, coach, I made that call, I said, okay, cool. Like Emmett was hot. We went with Emmett. We'll have to get Isaiah. We'll have to get Mekhi, and we'll have to get Quentin in the game more. Mekhi had a great run that he cut back and got vertical, and unfortunately we missed one block, or else it might have gone for a ways. So I'm just biding my time with those guys. But I wanted to play them more. But Dana was feeling it. He went with what he went with, and that's his call. So I was good with it once he said that. So, but that won't be the plan moving forward. I don't think. I think we'll have to play more guys.
Does that feel like Matt Rule deflecting running backs onto Dana, pointing it that way, or does that feel like Matt Rule being okay with being hands off and not micromanaging you?
I think he's just not micromanaging. I think I think he has a tremendous amount of respect for Dana and letting him coach, and Dana's telling him, hey, this is what I'm feeling, and a lot of times you go off feel. And so sometimes you might go, it happens all the time, man, where you can, I've been in the NFL and you're kind of rotating and, you have ideas, you're pulling up the stadium and, you get hot. If I start playing really well, then the guy that I'm rotating with, you got to be a backseat, but so forth and so on. If the team's doing well, you see it all the time in basketball. If a rotation or a group of guys is playing well and the starters go to the bench, you got to ride it. So, and Emmett answered the bell. He was a big boy game, and he showed he could step up. He had 32 touches, right? 25 carries, 7 catches. Targeted 10 times, right? And he got 7 catches.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he got a lot of workload. Now, ideally, you would like to get.
I think that was out of like 79 offensive snaps, I want to say, for Nebraska, too.
So
that's
you
huge
X factor,
percentage.
Jack. And so, he's earned the trust with Dana. And Dana's the guy that calling plays. He wants to, he trusts that he's going to execute it. It's a tight game. You got to put, that's why you RB1. You got to be the closer. And sure, you'd like to get, Mekhi in because they've obviously made some headways, and Isaiah, and they'll get their chance. And they got to show they got to keep working and improvement. I think, like I said, dealing with adversity is a hard thing for a lot of these players that are trying to ascend and get better to do, right? Adversity to maybe the backup running backs is maybe not getting as many reps as they originally thought because everybody has a plan. It's not personal. You just aren't the guy yet. You got to continue. You got to work while you wait. Mm-hmm. And so you can't be in your feelings so much that you didn't play that now that which you didn't do anything bad in the game. It's just that Emmett has just been doing. He's the guy that you don't work twice as hard this week because it's more realistically you get a lot more reps this week. So. Look, you got to have, definitely a good depth of running backs in the running back room in the Big Ten. And so you need guys that are going to have to step up, and they're going to have to step up immediately, both in practice, preparation, and obviously more importantly, the game.
Last thing I think then from Coach Rule for this segment, what did Friday and Saturday look like when the team got back? Here is Nebraska head coach Matt Rule.
Yeah, so we wanted to lift at 11. I told you guys we're going to lift, and we didn't get home till 4. So I didn't make them lift at 11. Our non-travel guys didn't get back till 5. Like my kids and the coach's kids that took the bus down didn't get back till about 5. So I didn't make them lift at 11, but they did come in and watch the tape at 3:30. And we went through it like methodically on Friday. Then we came back. We gave them Saturday off. They came back in yesterday, and we went through it again, a little bit more crisp. I wanted them just to take some time. I asked them to grade themselves from Friday to Sunday. So they graded themselves on the things that they can control, their effort, their technique, their assignment discipline. And then yesterday we came in and we just, we had another day to lift, another day to recover. A lot of guys came out on Saturday, I know, to recover. And then we had an actual practice yesterday. So it was good to have, obviously Akron playing on Thursday. So we had a chance to see what they're doing. And we went out and we got a lot of work yesterday too.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, it's a blessing and to get a couple extra days to, get some good. I'm sure they probably lifted harder then than they would later in the season. So that can, you're trying to make a deposit for, later in the season. You gotta look at the tape multiple times, as you should.
What are you watching for the different times you watch tape? First time, second time, and any subsequent times?
Well, I mean, the first time, if you're watching it with your coach, he's doing a lot of the evaluating. You're ideally taking notes, both good and
like
bad.
what on?
Well, even if you made a good play, what other tip could you possibly say? Like I would get a tackle for loss, right? Okay, the tackle for loss is great, but say I took a misstep in my initial footwork, I got to write that down. And it's no different if I did things right, but maybe my pad level was a little bit too high and I wasn't able to make a play, or I missed the tackle. Those are the things you look at. Coverages. Did I execute the coverage? And then go back to maybe some of your pregame tips and make sure, see if there's continuity. Then when you watch it again, then you just dive. For me, when I'm watching the game again for the third time or fourth time, I'm really diving into the details and looking at the holistic thing of it. Looking at how, one thing to see it work in practice, another thing to see it in the game. How does this look? What tips maybe could I get off a lineman? Maybe to look at, okay, this is left tackles. This guy really hid, whether it was run or pass, really good. But the left guard gave me a tip or something like that. I'm looking for minute details, both in my play, my counterparts play, and holistic of the defense. I'm trying to figure out how I can make as many plays as possible for the betterment of the team. Even if I get, and not just your position, because like I said, if they flip the formation, you have a young guy in, and he only knows how to do one thing, you got to be able to do his job. You got to be able to take, as a veteran player, you got to be able to run. You might have to go from the left side to the right side and keep that dude right in the middle and say, okay, you do what you do best. So those are the things you look for.
Are you able, let's say, you got another linebacker or two alongside you. Are you able to pick up on what they did or didn't do as you're watching yourself, or is that a separate read through?
That's both. You're watching the whole deal because in theory or in reality, your linebackers' footwork should marry each other.
Be in sync,
like dancing. You're on a string.
Gotcha.
Same with the linemen. That's and so that's where you want to. So you're watching all that because a play that somebody else might struggle on might be a play that you get in the future. Because whatever kind of worked against you, other teams are going to try to implement it in whether it's next week, week after, it could be like week 7 or 8. So you got to really constantly be it's a constantly getting information, deciphering it, and then make sure it's always in the back of your mind. And then guess what? You get to watch Hoodie tonight. You get to watch one of your ex-teammates tonight, and you got to see how they might do some stuff. So you're able to kind of get a lot of football in, in these days that you have some days off, some time off, no school. So it's a good opportunity for them. So we'll take a quick break, come back, maybe some audio or give some thoughts before we head into Hoodie time, North Carolina, TCU. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to old school with Foreman and Oerman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman. Quick segment here before we turn it over to Tom Chattel. Then all eyes will be down in Chapel Hill. Bill Belichick had to walk in, police escort and everything. Probably not what he's used to. He's probably used to parking underneath Gillette Stadium and just taking an elevator. He's been there probably since like 8 o'clock in the morning. But it'd be interesting to see, man. It's a good, extra present on Labor Day.
I got to show you this sign. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's been making the rounds on Twitter.
Oh, man. They killing Bill Belichick with when he was on the beach. I forgot about
doing
that.
the yoga. The internet never forgets, Jay. The internet never forgets.
Yeah, man. I'm just interested to see him coach college. I think in this new age college, I think this is kind of like fun to him. I am I mean, I don't know what the inner workings or what happened with him and Robert Kraft and all that, for him to call and tell his other billionaire buddy not to hire him, and everybody else kind of decided not to. But because obviously I never played for Bill Belichick. It'll be interesting to see how motivated he is and how he takes on this challenge of coaching. Coaching is the least you worry about because he's a coach. That's what he's going to do.
What did you hear from? I know you talked to guys that played for him. What were their reports on him?
Well, they just said he was the can man. Anybody can get it. He will call you to the carpet. It seemed like he wanted when he wanted you to earn everything. I don't see anything wrong with that. So I think I think that's what was the advantage. You go to New England, it's football 100% of the time when you're there.
Because what else is there to do?
What else is there to do, and what else are you getting paid to do? I don't see a problem with it. Now I think maybe some egos got involved between him and Brady, and he wanted to. And I think he had that Bill Walsh mentality of get rid of players a year too early. They did it. They got rid of Lawyer Malloy, Seymour, and all those guys. And
like it's cold, but it also worked.
Yeah, it was you don't get rid of Tom Brady for Jimmy Garoppolo. I kind of wish you did it because it cost yourself like 2 Super Bowls,
right?
So maybe that was it. Maybe the handling of the time. I don't know the inner workings and stuff like that, but it was a run that went on. I just remember Bill Walsh talking about, and he was able to, before he passed away, mend some relationships. So Bill Belichick probably has done that and will do so. But all I heard was this guy. He was hard to at times to be with, but I think those guys created a bond around it. Mm-hmm. But how bad could it be when you win all the Super Bowls? It's worth it. Trust me. I'd never sit back and be like, dang, that winter conditioning and all those like stairs we ran and all the stuff Coach McBride called me the carpet. I'd never crossed in my mind right now. I laugh about it now. So, because I ain't in the moment. Yeah.
Because it's funny when you look back, you're like, look at those chumps running the stadium stairs. Your turn.
Muscle was tight.
Your turn.
I still remember when he got me, man, all this chew in my face and stuff, man. My teammate couldn't handle it. Anyway, Jay Foreman, Austin Oerman, we'll holler at you tomorrow.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through September 2nd are $1 off buns, 15% off cheese and crackers, 10-ounce grass-fed